Okay, you're gonna do it. You're gonna buy a home. This is it. This is our year. We are buying a home. It's happening. Now what? I'll tell you what. What we're gonna discuss today are the three main things that you need to do to make sure that you are set to go to buy a home and to do it successfully. Because I've seen a lot of people do it unsuccessfully. My name is Lindsey Kaplan. I have been selling real estate for 10 years. I'm one of the top realtors in my area, and I've seen just about every situation in the home buying and selling world. The one thing that I believe is that home buying and selling can be really easy. All you have to do is arm yourself with the right information and you will be good to go. So let's dig in. We are buying a home. Here are the three things that you need to do. Number one, and I'm rolling my eyes a little bit because I'm sure you've heard this before. If you are not buying with cash, get a pre-approval, please. No one is gonna have a conversation with you. No realtor, no one. If you do not have a pre-approval in hand, okay? How do you do that? It's really easy. Align yourself with a great mortgage professional. If you need advice on a mortgage professional, in my description below, I got guys for you. But align yourself with a good mortgage professional, and it does not have to be your bank. Not at all. They are going to pull numbers for you, and they are going to basically say, if you buy a house at this number with this many taxes, it's going to cost you this much a month. So you will also get really clear on what your numbers are. A lot of times people will just kind of go off of what they see on Zillow. They'll kind of do this back of the envelope math where they just plug in numbers through Zillow. But the thing is that Zillow doesn't know what your credit score is. Zillow doesn't know if you have any outstanding debt. You gotta go through the professional and do it correctly. Here's the other reason why you need to have a pre-approval. Because when you do find that home and your realtor is going to tee up that beautiful offer that you're about to write, if you don't have a pre-approval in hand, you can't submit the offer. The seller won't know if you're good for the money. So offer goes with pre-approval, submit, and off it goes. You do not want to fall in love with a home and that night scramble to find a mortgage professional to write a pre-approval, and now you're behind the eight ball because you didn't do your homework beforehand. Get a pre-approval, do it now. Pre-approvals will be good for 3 to 4 months. If they do expire, I have clients who just roll over their pre-approvals all the time if it takes them longer to buy a home. It's really easy for lenders to update them. Get the pre-approval. Number two, find your right realtor. And when you find a realtor, it does not mean that you go onto Zillow and you make a phone call and some random person picks up the phone and then they meet you at a house and then I guess you're my realtor now. No. If you know that you're going to be buying in a certain city or area or whatever, you want to align yourself with a realtor that sells a lot in that area. That realtor will be your partner in crime. They are going to go to the mat for you. And you want to make sure that your realtor is good, that your realtor will be able to network with other agents and possibly find off-market homes. That's one of my favorite things to do. You want to know that your realtor has written many an offer, and if you are in a multiple offer situation, they will know exactly how to guide you in writing up the winning bid. That's really important. You want a realtor who, once you are under contract, you will trust to take you to the closing table, who will align you with the right professionals to do your inspections, to make any needed adjustments, whatever it is, you need to find that realtor. Now I'm gonna say something about realtors that might seem not so great because maybe this is what you're thinking. A friend of mine does real estate kind of sort of part-time and they sell a couple houses a year and maybe they were gonna help me. But a buddy of mine just got their real estate license, or my aunt sells 1 or 2 houses a year and they were just gonna help me. Sometimes that works out okay. A lot of times I will find that myself personally, I'm usually agent number 2. My clients initially brought in this type of agent that is part-time, that is brand spanking new, that doesn't really know how to operate in the market but kind of sort of does. Then not able to find a home, or they're losing out on every bid because they don't know how to craft a winning bid. And then they finally bite the bullet and be like, okay, we gotta find a realtor that actually knows what she's doing. And then I get a phone call and I'm like, hey, yes, okay, let's get you to the finish line. It will be a day and night experience. I promise you that. The realtors that are in my market that are really good. They really know what they're doing. And I have tons of respect for them because they work really hard day in and day out for all of their clients. For whenever I do transactions with people that are not used to doing a transaction, what usually ends up happening is I end up almost walking them through their side of the deal to be like, nope, you filled out the contract wrong. Let's go ahead and go back into it and fill it out correctly. And it's kind of a nightmare. If you want to make sure that your home buying experience is a good one, make sure to align yourself with a professional that you have vetted, knows what they're doing, that will guide you through this process and get you to the finish line in a way where you're like, that was kind of easy. That's my goal. If you want to know my mantra, any client that works with me knows that I strive to make this process as easy and painless as possible. And that's who you want to align yourself with. If you need help in vetting a good realtor, I'm here for you. Go down into my description below and I have a link where you can click on it. You know, we'll have a nice quick little Zoom where you'll tell me what your needs are and we will get you that right agent that you can align yourself with. If you're looking to buy in the Chicagoland area, girl, here's the final thing that I will say about aligning yourself with a great realtor. If you have an agent that is local to your neighborhood, and sometimes I have people who are looking in two completely different areas, and yeah, I'll have to sell in areas that I'm not fully local in, but I also know the right questions to ask, and I know who to seek out to get those questions, right? So when you have someone who is well seasoned, they know the right questions to ask. We also really network with each other a lot. So when you are working with an agent that really knows the city and town that you're looking in, they are gonna help guide you through the right questions for you to ask. If schools are important to you, they will help make sure to guide you through that process of how to figure out what will align with you in terms of schools. If being close to a downtown area or a shopping district is important to you, they will make sure to point you into that direction. They will know the right questions to ask for you to help guide you through this process. The first thing that you need to do is you need to sit down and figure out your needs and your wants, the things that you're willing to compromise and the things that you're not willing to compromise on. You have to get a lot of clarity of what you're looking to do. And then kind of double check with, go online and say, my needs is in line with what I believe I can afford. So now that you have your pre-approval done and you're starting to work on getting that right agent for you, when you meet with that agent, you want to come to the table, not only with your pre-approval, but you're also gonna wanna come to the table with basically that inventory of your needs and your wants, the things that you'll compromise on, the things that you won't compromise on, and you wanna make sure that you are double checking to say, hey, here's my list of things that I want. Is this realistic for the price that I'm looking in? And sometimes you will have to make adjustments, but sometimes the best way that you figure out what your needs and your wants are is by starting to walk through homes, is by starting to say, okay, so this is what a home in this neighborhood looks like, or this is what a condo feels like, whatever it is that you are exploring for your potential purchase. In really kind of doing that own introspection of what you're going to be looking for in a home, it's also important to really come up with that timeline. When would you like to have your keys and be moved in by? And I will tell you something, this is like a hot take, and I'm sure any realtor who's watching this will like shake their head up and down and be like, Those who come to me and be like, I'm not in a hurry, I can buy a home whenever I want, they end up never buying a home. They just don't, because they just float it and are hoping for this, magical house to hit the market, and it doesn't. What you have to really do is you have to put your own feet to your fire and say, okay, I would like to be in a house within the next 9 months. That is my goal. Now, if you don't hit your goal, not the end of the world, but at least you are setting something up where it's a little bit of accountability for yourself, because then you'll also time it out to say, okay, hey, realtor, I would like to be in a house by this time. Then they're gonna know exactly how to ramp up your search. So make sure to have a lot of clarity, not just of what you want and don't want and your haves and must-haves. Make sure you have clarity on what your actual timeline is gonna be and commit to that. Because remember, keep in the back of your head, if I don't commit to a timeline, I probably will never buy a house. And there you have it. Those are the 3 things that you should do right now if you have decided that you are going to want to make a home purchase within this next year. If you do those 3 things, I promise you, you will have your keys by whatever timeline you decide to establish. My name is Lindsey Kaplan. Thank you for spending time with me. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe. If you are looking to buy in the Chicagoland area, reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. There is a link in my description below that will lead you to a nice little meeting that we'll have to see if we're a good fit. If you're looking for an agent in another area and need some help with that, I have a link for that as well. And again, if you want to see more great content with this, go ahead. I don't know where the screen is, but go ahead and click on that screen because you're going to see more great real estate advice. My job is to make real estate buying and selling easy.